If you're using your brain to organize your YouTube ideas, what are you doing? You are making this 10 times harder than it has to be. So today we are fixing that. You'll be walking away with a full content organization system. So I'm going to be showing you the full system that I use, as well as walking you through how to create that system for yourself, and a beginner version that's even simpler if you are just starting out. Before we build anything, I want to talk about why this all matters, because a lot of creators will just skip to the tools and then the information, like they just don't end up sticking with it. Because I say this from experience. For years, I did it the hard way. I wrote my scripts, my video ideas, my mental to-do lists, all in these notebooks. These are all full of my old videos. This is kind of wild. These are my Tobago scripts. There were a lot of revisions on this script. What was a daily schedule there? I'm getting so sidetracked. As fun as writing in all these notebooks was, it wasn't the most efficient system. It's a lot of notebooks. Because when you have an actual content organization system, your head just feels clearer because you're not juggling all of these things in your head or, in a notebook. And then you'll have room to finally see the bigger picture so you could start strategizing and you'll finally start to see consistent growth. Because consistency is simply what happens when you have the right system. So we are going to now build you one. I build everything inside of Notion. Now, if you are not familiar with the program, it's kind of like a, how do I describe it? It's a project management, productivity, everything in one workplace. It is incredibly powerful, but also very overwhelming for a beginner. There is a learning curve to it. So I am going to show you an alternative version not using Notion later on in this video, if you are not interested in using Notion. Now, I did start with Notion, after my notebook system. I actually went through a few different tools before landing here. First, it was just Apple Notes, and that quickly became just as much of a chaotic organization system. With no organization. I eventually moved on to a program called Evernote, which was pretty decent. And then eventually Google Docs, which was just folders and documents in folders, which was slightly better. Now Notes is free, Google Docs is free, and both Evernote and Notion have free versions that you can try out and experiment with before committing to a paid version. So this is what my Notion looks like. You have my team spaces. So each channel is different. So Nadine Sakura, that's this channel. Then we have Hey Nadine, that's my previous channel. So all of my planning was in there. And then Evergreen Creators is my Creator Accelerator program. So in Notion, this is called a database. And this is where all of my content will go. This is my ideas bank as well as my current projects. These are the various statuses that each video will go through until published, and then I archive it once it's been completed, so then I don't have to see it anymore. So as I mentioned, I have my two series, Creators Insights and my Build series, that just kind of tells which video belongs to which, the publish dates, links to my scripts, and then the platforms that they belong on. So to me, this is a pretty simple, straightforward system, but the beauty of this is, because it's digital, I can actually go in and rearrange things. So say I want to actually have my packaging video after my niches video, or maybe I move it all the way down here, or maybe I change it to, you know what? I'm actually scripting it now. It's so simple to kind of adjust as you are building it out and know exactly where you are. So I mostly stay in this table view. There's also like a status view, but I also really enjoy this calendar view because I could see an overview of literally months of content. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, on Monday, I'm posting these 3. Then the next one, I have this video posted, and then this one, and this one, and this one, and this one, and so forth. And oh, look, I have scheduled until June 1st what content I'm going to be posting on this channel. So I'm like, wow, it's like March. I have until June ideas. That's wild. I don't have to like worry or stress about ideas because I literally already have till June planned. So then clicking on a video will open up its own page. And this is where you could put all the details, or where I put all the details of that video. So that's the full version that I use that's running my channel right now. Now let's build yours. Now, if you want to have this exact template that I use, you can grab it in the link down below, or you can just follow along and build one yourself. Either way works. So first thing, let's scroll down and we're going to go into our long form content. So, so fresh Notion. and we want to create a new page. So these are basically, every video idea is a page. So you could do that two ways. You can click right here and it'll kind of just populate an empty page for you, and you can put a title like title, or you can click this button right here, new, and that'll also populate a page for you. So let's pretend we are travel vloggers. Let's say we want to create a series of videos about a train journey in Thailand. Let's do Bangkok to Chiang Mai overnight train journey. Overnight, okay? It's a very famous overnight train journey. I actually did it in 2012, I believe. So this is just our working title. The next thing we're gonna do is click status. Well, it's just an idea right now, but if you click here, you can see all the various statuses depending on where you are in your video creation process, but it's just an idea. I'm thinking I'm gonna do two series in this. So my first one, I'll just select this series 1, hit the ... and I'll call this train journeys. There we go. Okay. So I changed the name, train journeys. Now I actually still like to use Google Docs to script my videos, even though I have a spot down here for the script in Notion. I just don't really like using it as much, but sometimes I will. I don't know. I've created it there for you. So like if you're using this template and you want to just use it all in Notion, you have that option. It's right there. There's a page for the script. Or you can put a link. Next, I'll do a publishing date. So let's do April 1st. Why not? That's a cool date. Here I will select my platform, which is YouTube. So I actually built this Notion template out so I could use it on multiple platforms, because I actually have Instagram and TikTok and do shorts. At least I did on my previous channel. So, but this is a YouTube, so I'm going to select that. And then if I had a sponsor, I could put it in there. So if you wanted to add a sponsor, you could click here to go into your sponsors table. And I actually like to have a separate database for sponsors. So if you're creating multiple pieces of content, it'll kind of look nice. So let's create a sponsor. New sponsor. Let's say our new sponsor is Apple. Why not? Apple is sponsoring us. So I could put any information about and like, again, FCC talking points, anything that the brand has given me that I need to talk about, I could put it in here, and it will link back to any long form or short form content that I link to it. So I also like to add a little icon. Now, I like to typically upload the brand's icon just for aesthetics, but I'll put a little apple there. Sure, why not? All right, so there's our sponsor. I can go back to my content planning hub. So then going back to my long form, to my Bangkok to Chiang Mai overnight. Now, if I go into here in my sponsors, there's Apple. I filled out that section. Next up is my idea summary. So this is my brainstorm. It's just a brain dump place. So anything that comes to mind, what's my thoughts on this? Well, I want to document my the experience riding the train to Chiang Mai. I want to document maybe the food, price, duration, comfort. Now I also have this research and notes section. So you can click into there. And so that's actually where I'll put more of my research and notes for the video before I start scripting it. Scrolling down, now we get into the actual scripting section. So I'll have my hooks. So these are just kind of like helps me think of how I want to present the hook. And then, as I mentioned, there's the link to the actual, if I wanted to script it in Notion, I could script it there. The next section is packaging. So in here, I will have the title options. So you scroll down here, this is actually a title length checker. Bangkok to Chiang Mai overnight, worth it or skip it? Oh, now if you look, it's too long. Oh no. You want to kind of have your titles less than 55 characters or else it'll get cut off on YouTube. So that's kind of what this is. It's a way to check the length of the title. So, oh dear, we're too long. So let's just remove one of these characters and now we're good. This is very helpful with brainstorming titles because I go through a lot of different title options and I also A/B test. So I'm typically using at least 2 to 3 title options for my videos. And then I can kind of select which ones I like. So like, oh, I like that one. Or, oh, yep, that's the ones I want to choose. Or like title 3, let's just say that is. Okay, check that one. Next is thumbnail inspiration. So you can kind of upload any images or screenshots of how I would like to present the thumbnails to the video. And then the last section I wanted to show you is this creation section. So this is basically where I have a shot list. And so this can be like where I would be thinking of how I want to film the video. So maybe I want an establishing shot, right? So this would be like, all right, welcome. Like, welcome, today I'm taking the train ride up to Chiang Mai, your intro. A-roll is if it's a main shot talking, B-roll, any additional. So, and then I also have library. So if I already had that shot somewhere in my hard drive, if I'd filmed it before, then it would be a library shot or a screenshot. So I could fill that out as needed. Maybe I want a price breakdown. That would be a good shot. That would be maybe a screenshot of the company's website. Now, I don't always fill out the shot list for every video, especially for these like studio filmed ones. I don't really need to. I kind of know what I want, but especially when I was travel vlogging, there were certain shots that I really wanted to capture, so I would use this shot list a lot more. So as I'm creating the video, I will fill this out more and more. It'll get built out, but everything is all contained in this single page for every video that I create, every idea. And that's why I love it. It's why I love Notion. So closing that up, there is my idea there. So it's an idea. So say now I'm actually in the planning process. So I would change the status. So let's fill out this other page. We just called it title. Say the next video that we want to make is a day in Chiang Mai. It's an idea, the series. Let's make this a part of a new series. Let's call these destination vlogs. Change that name. So it's a destination vlog and I'll publish it on, let's say I'm publishing every Wednesday. So I'll publish it on April the 8th. Again, platform, I'll check YouTube. Sponsors, sure, Apple's also sponsoring this one. And I'll just go, what I do in a day in Chiang Mai. And then you just keep building those out as your ideas come to you. And as you start creating more videos, it'll start filling out like mine did. And again, I can look at the calendar and I will see my publishing dates. So I'll see which I'm publishing every single week. If you're just doing YouTube, then just stick with that one planner. That's all you really need. But if you have any other social media platform that you're also doing at the same time, it's nice to have a separate database. At least that's what I found. I liked having my long form content and my short form content on separate databases. So that's what this short form content database is for. Nice and fresh. Click here on a new page, short form video. So there's a new idea, or you can click here and it'll pop up there. So slightly different layout than my long form because I have this so that I could be reposting the same piece of content on Instagram, YouTube, or TikTok if I chose to. It's a little bit more nuanced. I can do a full Notion run through of this in a future video because I think there's a lot of little nuances of my full planning system that require a full video to do, or else this video is just going to be way too long. A little bit different for like my content styles for my short form. And I could put a date. So let's say this is April the 9th and my platform is Instagram. Sure. And let's say this is a Chiang Mai food tasting. It's going to be a personality, stories and personality, or so you could do content styles or you could do content topics. There's some options for you there. It's on Instagram. Apple. Thanks, Apple. And so a little different. There's your idea summary spot. And then for the actual content, a little bit different options of things that you could fill out for your short form piece. Sure, let's stick with street food. Bangkok street food. Okay, that's our next video. Also on Instagram. Okay, so we have some short form. Let's give this a date. I don't know. We'll post this on the 11th of April. Now, if I go to my month, I could see oh, right, so I'm going to have a piece of content posted on the 9th. I'm going to have a piece of content posted on the 11th. Nice and clean. I can plan out exactly how many pieces of content are getting posted every single month, every single week. I know exactly what's going up. So now going back into my hub, if I go into my sponsor database for Apple, you will see I have links to all the pieces of content that are being sponsored by Apple. So you could see those are my 2 long form videos that are currently being sponsored by Apple, as well as my short form piece of content that's being sponsored by Apple. That's why I like to have the sponsors in its own little database. Just keeps it really nice and tidy. And then if you go into platforms, you could click on the individual platform. So if I click on YouTube, it gives me a list of all my YouTube videos, as well as there is my monthly overview of all my YouTube content. Go back to platforms. If I go into my Instagram, those are my Instagram videos that I'm going to be posting, as well as my, where's my calendar? Oh, right, it's in April. As well as my calendar of all of my Instagram content. Whew, all right, so deep breaths. That might have been a lot for you, or it might have not been. You'll be like, yeah, I could do this. That is as simple as I could make this Notion while also still keeping it very powerful and scalable. And here's what I want you to do right now. I want you to set this up before the end of the video, because this is the habit that actually makes this whole system work. Because having a content tracker, a content planner is great and all, but if it's only at your desk on your laptop, well, it's only doing half of the job. Ideas are slippery and they love showing up at the worst possible time. I'm talking like 11:30 at night when you are trying to fall asleep and finally shut off your brain, or if you're in the shower or you're in the middle of a walk and you think, oh, I'll write it down when I get home, no problem. But you won't, because something will pop up like a notification on your phone, or you just get distracted by life and you forget it. It just goes and the idea is gone. I have the Notion app right in my phone. And so when an idea comes into my head, no matter how crazy or weird or interesting it is, I will immediately pop it into my Notion database. It takes me like 30 seconds and then it's there, it's captured. I don't overthink it. And this is actually why Apple Notes worked so good for me at the beginning, because I have notes on my phone, as well as Evernote was an app on my phone, Google Docs was an app on my phone. It doesn't matter what you use, just whatever it is, have it on your phone, because I know that you always have your phone on you. We all do. So you will always have a place to put your notes, your ideas down instantly the minute they come to you. Okay, I know what some of you are thinking right now. All of this is great and all, but like, I only have 50 subscribers. Do I actually need all of this? And the honest answer is no. You do not need a full Notion setup from day one. But if you wait until you are bigger to get organized, you are going to be trying to unlearn a bunch of habits. You are going to be trying to think of videos while also create a system, while also try to grow a channel. It's just going to be that much harder. And the moment that you need to bring anyone else in, like an editor, a thumbnail designer, an agent, a partner, you are going to need a system. So you're better off just building that habit from day one. So what do you actually need right now at the beginning? Well, it's one page. It's just a simple content tracker, and that's it. And I promised you a simpler free version. So here it is. I'm going to show you how to build out this same system in Google Sheets. First thing you're going to do is you are going to open up your Google Drive, and you are going to go New Google Sheets. You're gonna open up a brand new spreadsheet. Now this little AI thing pops up. So I want you to find Content Tracker and insert that in. Okay, next, create custom views, personalize your tabs. Got it. So right there, in like 30 seconds, half of this is already done for you. Nadine's Content Tracker, or whatever you want. So instead of having all of these different social media types, I'm just going to put this as my series. So let's edit that. So instead of like email, social media, etc., again, going with my train example. So this is train journeys, and say this one is destination vlogs. Okay. And then I can get rid of these. Done. So I have my 2 examples. All right, well, get rid of that. Stop erroring me. Okay. All right. There we go. So my piece of content, Bangkok to Chiang Mai. That was my train journey. And then I had a destination vlog, which was a day in Chiang Mai. Details, again, let's expand this section. This is where we could just put our notes, or we can literally put that in the notes section, whatever you choose. And status. So let's just adjust these. So change new to idea, maybe in progress, planning, scripting, ready to film. So maybe that one's planning and that one's currently editing. Same idea, you have your calendar. Again, April 1st. And that one will do April 8th. And then here I would attach the scripts that I'm working on. And then maybe my notes section would be any filming details. At the very minimum, you should be doing that. Like, there's no reason why you can't build that out and then download and have Google Sheets on your phone. And then you could just add to it as you think of an idea. So start there, get comfortable with it. And then when you are ready to grow, move on. Then you can start experimenting with like Notion or something else. And if you haven't set up your YouTube channel yet, you're gonna wanna watch this video right here because I walk you through the whole thing step by step.